Assalamu Alaykum everyone, it's your Islamic teacher and preacher Haneen. I am the one who is going to teach you everything about Islam, about Allah, about other religions, about the interpretation of the Holy Quran, each and everything step by step and details. So please pay attention and focus with me, because Inshaallah I am going to make you satisfied, and by Allah's help I am going to help you to understand everything. So Inshaallah this is our first video talking about who Allah is. So the first topic is who Allah is. In my YouTube channel Yearning for Eternity, I am going to start talking about who Allah is, because as a non-Muslim you have to understand who Allah is, and even as a new Muslim you have to know who Allah is. Everyone has to know and understand who Allah is. Allah, our Lord, the one who created you and me, our only God. Allah is our only God. So let's get started. Understanding Allah in Islam. According to the Islamic statement of witness or shahada, there is no God but Allah. You have to understand this point. There is no God but Allah. Yes, it's not Jesus. It's not other idols which other people from other religions do worship. No. Our Lord is only Allah. So there is no God but Allah, the one who created you and me. The one who created the whole universe and all creatures is Allah. Muslims believe He created the world in 6 days and sent prophets such as Noah, Nuh, Abraham, Ibrahim, Musa, David, Dawood, Jesus, Isa, and lastly Muhammad, who called people to worship only Him, rejecting idolatry and polytheism. So all the prophets and messengers were sent by Allah to convey the message of Islam. Yes, Allah sent them to convey the message of Islam and to teach them to worship only Allah, rejecting idolatry and polytheism. Now here we believe that Allah created the world in 6 days. Let's have a look at this sentence. 6 days. I am going to explain this issue for you right now. Passages relating to creation according to the Quran is different places. Allah said, إِنَّ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَآيَاتٍ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Verily, in the heavens and the earth are signs for those who believe. وَفِي خَلْقِكُمْ وَمَا يَبُثُّ مِنْ دَابَّةٍ آيَاتٌ لِقَوْمٍ يُوقِنُونَ. And in the creation of yourselves and the fact that animals are scattered through the earth are signs for those of assured faith. واختلاف الليل والنهار وما أنزل الله من السماء من رزق فأحيا به الأرض بعد موتها وتصريف الرياح آيات لقوم يعقلون. And in the alternation of night and day, and that fact that Allah sends down sustenance from the sky and revives therewith the earth after its death, and in the change of the winds, are signs for those who are wise. Big Bang. Now let's talk about Big Bang. I think you have heard about this before. Allah said, أَوَلَمْ يَرَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَنَّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ كَانَتَا رَتْقًا فَفَتَقْنَاهُمَا. The heavens and the earth were joined together as one unit before we clove them asunder. The heavens and the earth were joined together as one unit before we clove them asunder. So, this was mentioned in the Holy Quran. Allah said, the heavens and the earth were joined together as one unit before we clove them asunder. So, this is what is meant by Big Bang. Following this big explosion, Allah turned to the sky and it had been as smoke. Allah said, ثم استوى إلى السماء وهي دخان فقال لها وللأرض ائتيا طوعا أو كرها قالتا أتينا طائعين. Allah turned to the sky and it had been as smoke. He said to it and to the earth, come together willingly or unwillingly. They said, we come together in willing obedience. Thus, the elements and what was to become the planets and stars began to cool, come together, and form into shape, following the natural laws that Allah established in the universe. The Quran further states that Allah created the sun, the moon, and the planets each with their own individual courses or orbit. Allah said, وَهُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ كُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. Allah said, it is He who created the night and the day, and the sun and the moon, all the celestial bodies swim along each in its rounded course. Now let's talk about the expansion of universe. Allah said, وَالسَّمَاءَ بَنَيْنَاهَا بِأَيْدٍ وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. The heavens we have built them with power, and verily we are expanding it. So the expansion of universe was mentioned also in the Holy Quran. Allah said, the heavens we have built them with power, and verily we are expanding it. There has been some historical debate among Muslim scholars about the precise meaning of this verse, since knowledge of the universe's expansion was only recently discovered. Now, let's talk about 6 days and explain this point. Allah said, إِنَّ رَبَّكُمُ اللَّهُ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ فِي 6 أَيَّامٍ. The Quran states that Allah created the heavens and the earth and all that is between them in 6 days. Okay, let's look at the explanation here. The verses that mention 6 days use the Arabic word yawm. So, day in Arabic means yawm, and yawm in English means day. This word appears several other times in the Quran, each denoting a different measurement of time. In one case, the measure of the day is equated with 50,000 years. So, one day equated 50,000 years in one of the verses, whereas another verse states that a day in the sight of your Lord is like 1,000 years of your reckoning. The word yawm is thus understood within the Quran to be a long period of time, an era or eon. Therefore, Muslims interpret the description of a 6 days creation as 6 distinct periods or eons. The length of these periods is not precisely defined, nor are the specific developments that took place during each period. After completing the creation, the Quran describes that Allah settled Himself upon the throne. Allah said, ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. So, after completing the creation, Allah settled Himself upon the throne to oversee His work. A distinct point is made to counter the biblical idea of a day of rest. Allah said, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا فِي 6 أَيَّامٍ وَمَا مَسَّنَا مِنْ لُغُوبٍ. We created the heavens and the earth and all that is between them in 6 days, nor did any sense of awareness touch us. Allah is never done with His work because the process of creation is ongoing. Each new child who is born, every seed that sprouts into a sapling, every new species that appears on earth is part of the ongoing process of Allah's creation. Allah said, هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام. It is who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. ثم استوى على العرش. Then established himself on the throne. يعلم ما يلج في الأرض وما يخرج منها وما ينزل من السماء وما يعرج فيها. He knows what enters within the heart of the earth and what comes forth out of it, what comes down from heaven and what mounts up to it. وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. And He is with you wherever you may be. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. And Allah sees well all that you do. The Quranic account of creation is in line with modern scientific thought about the development of the universe and life on earth. Muslims acknowledge that life developed over a long period of time but see Allah's power behind it all. Descriptions of creation in the Quran are set in context to remind the readers of Allah's majesty and wisdom. Allah said, مَا لَكُمْ لَا تَرْجُونَ لِلَّهِ وَقَارًا. What is the matter with you that you are not conscious of Allah's majesty? وَقَدْ خَلَقَكُمْ أَطْوَارًا. Seeing that it is He who has created you in diverse stages. أَلَمْ تَرَوْا كَيْفَ خَلَقَ اللَّهُ 7 سَمَاوَاتٍ طِبَاقًا وَجَعَلَ الْقَمَرَ فِيهِنَّ نُورًا وَجَعَلَ الشَّمْسَ سِرَاجًا. See you not how Allah has created the 7 heavens one above another, and made the moon a light in their midst, and made the sun as a glorious lamp. وَاللَّهُ أَنْبَتَكُم مِّنَ الْأَرْضِ نَبَاتًا. And Allah has produced you from the earth, growing gradually. Life came from water. Look at this title. Allah said, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ. The Quran describes that Allah made from water every living thing. Allah made from water every living thing. Another verse describes how Allah has created every animal from water. Allah said, وَاللَّهُ خَلَقَ كُلَّ دَابَّةٍ مِّن مَّاءٍ. Allah has created every animal from water. فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَمْشِي عَلَى بَطْنِهِ. Of them are some that creep on their bellies. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَمْشِي عَلَى رِجْلَيْنِ. Some that walk on 2 legs. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَمْشِي عَلَى أَرْبَعٍ. And some that walk on 4. يَخْلُقُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Allah creates what He wills, for truly Allah has power over all things. These verses support the scientific theory that life began in the earth's ocean. Now let's talk about the creation of Adam and Eve, or Adam and Hawa. While Islam recognizes the general idea of the development of life in stages, over a period of time, human beings are considered as a special act of creation. Islam teaches that human beings are a unique life form that was created by Allah in a special way, with unique gifts and abilities unlike any other, a soul and conscience, knowledge and free will. In short, Muslims don't believe that human beings randomly evolved from apes, that's for sure. The life of a human being began with the creation of two people, a male and a female, named Adam and Hawa. Allah said, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ صَلْصَالٍ مِنْ حَمَإٍ مَسْنُونٍ. The Quran describes how Allah created Adam. We created man from sounding clay, from mud molded into shape. Allah said, الذي أحسن كل شيء خلقه وبدأ خلق الإنسان من طين ثم جعل نسله من سلالة من ماء مهين. And he began the creation of man from clay and made his progeny from a quintessence of fluid. Thus, human beings have a fundamental attachment to the earth. While the creation of Eve is not described in detail, the Quran does make it clear that a mate was created with Adam from the same nature and soul. Allah said, هو الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وجعل منها زوجها ليسكن إليها. It is He who created you from a single person and made his mate of like nature in order that he might dwell with her in love. Eve is not mentioned by name in the Quran, but in Islamic tradition she is known as Hawa. From these two individuals, generations of human beings have inhabited the earth. Allah said, يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. O humankind, we created you from a single pair of a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes so that you may know each other, not that you may despise each other. Verily, the most honored among you in the sight of Allah is the one who is the most righteous of you, and Allah has full knowledge and is well acquainted with all things. And now everyone, we arrived to the end of our lesson for today. Hopefully you get benefited and you understood whatever I mentioned in this video. See you next time. I am going to explain more about who Allah is in the upcoming videos. Have a nice day. في أمان الله.